And you say the meeting can be at 6:59? Oh, it's 7.
Good evening. I call to order this regular joint meeting of the Minnehaha County and Sioux Falls Planning Commissions, and we'll begin with a few introductory comments. My name is Susie O'Hara. This is the County Planning Commission. Jesse Schmidt is representing the Sioux Falls Planning Commission. As a courtesy to everyone here tonight, please make sure that all cell phones are turned off. The two planning commissions work together on land use and zoning matters within the rural area surrounding the city. This area is displayed on the screen. After information and testimony is presented on an agenda item, the members will discuss the matter, and then each planning commission will vote independently to arrive at a decision. When the joint agenda is completed, the City Planning Commission will adjourn and the meeting will continue as the County Planning Commission considers items beyond the joint zoning jurisdiction. At this time, the Planning Commissions will consider the consent agendas. The minutes from the August 26th meeting that we had? Yes. August 26th meeting are included in the consent agenda. Are there any objections from the Planning Commission members to any item listed on the consent agenda? Okay, next I'm going to read each item on the consent agenda, and if any member of the audience objects to the item, please raise your hand and the item will be moved to the regular agenda to allow you to address the commission later in the meeting. The first one is approval of minutes, August 26, 2013. Item number 2 is a conditional use permit to exceed 1,200 square foot of accessory building area. 1,512 square foot has been requested. This property is located 1 mile east of Sioux Falls. Is there anyone here to object to that item? The next item on the consent agenda is a conditional use permit to transfer one building eligibility in this location is 1.5 miles west of Sioux Falls.
We skipped number 3.
Yeah, we moved that though. I mean,
we didn't hear a motion on it though.
We have to have a...
Somebody's got to
move
it.
Okay, they'll read 3. Conditional use permit to exceed 1,200 square foot of accessory building area. 2,000 foot was requested. This is located 1 mile north of Sioux Falls.
I'm going to move that one off.
Okay. That's being moved to the regular agenda. Okay, item number 4 again is the transfer of a building eligibility, and this is in a property located 1.5 miles west of Sioux Falls.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda with item number 3 moved?
I just want to make sure, was anybody in the audience objecting to any other item? Okay, thank you.
So,
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second. So number 3 is
Regular.
so motion second. All
So
in
we're
favor,
approving
signify
1, 2, and 4.
Yes.
Second.
Opposed?
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay.
Approved. The agenda is approved on the city side.
And the county. Okay, is there a motion to approve the regular agenda?
Make a motion.
second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
All those in favor, signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Regular agenda is approved.
Okay, for the regular agenda, our normal hearing procedure will be followed. The planning staff presents the report on each item. The petitioner can come to the podium, will come to the podium and make a statement or answer questions. Anyone from the audience wishing to address the item shall be recognized by the chairman. Move to the podium, state their name and address for the record. The planning commission will then discuss the matter and take appropriate action. And by the way, if you had item 1, 2, or 4, you are free to leave. Your items have been approved. So now we've got item number 3.
That's your cue.
Nate Alcohol.
Right. Good evening, Commission members. My name is David Heinold. I'm Planner 1 with the County Planning. Mr. Althoff, he's requesting 2,000 square feet of accessory building area on his property at 47605 Sorrel Street, a mile north of Sioux Falls. Based on what we know from the zoning ordinance in an A1 area where we have more than four or five houses, unless a conditional use permit has been approved, the total accessory building shall not exceed 1,200 square feet.
Could you speak up, please?
Okay. Like I said, the petitioner would like to construct a 2,000 square foot accessory building on his 1.25 acre lot in the James Replat subdivision. As you can see there, the subdivision consists of approximately 6 residential properties and is in close proximity to Amy's Acre subdivision of about 34 houses just to the east of that, as shown on the map. The petitioner's requested size of 2,000 square feet is relatively comparable with other accessory buildings in the immediate area. The largest accessory building is 10,296, as you see to the east of that. But that was built as a farm structure and is classified as more as a commercial business-oriented use. 2 other properties within close proximity of the petitioner's property that exceed the 1,200 square feet in 2010 property at 47638 Slip-Up Creek Road, which is just east of the petitioner's property. They applied for a conditional use permit to construct 1320 square foot accessory structure. And also a neighboring property, 25971 Jane Ave, constructed a 1,500 square foot accessory structure in 1989. But all of the other large accessory structures in the immediate area were constructed at least 10 years prior to the county and Sioux Falls adoption of the restriction for accessory structures on agriculturally zoned properties in 2001. As far as detracting from the enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity, we don't see that happening or negatively affecting the property values in the surrounding area. But the petitioner is the first resident in the development area to apply for a conditional use permit to exceed 1,200 square feet beyond that 2001 adoption date. A structure of the proposed size, 2,000 square feet, would not be congruent with the neighborhood composition with what's already there in the immediate area. You wouldn't be needing any further infrastructure as far as water, sewer, or anything like that. And no on-street parking will be needed because they'll have the 2 off-street parking spaces. And there wouldn't be any offensive nuisances coming from the structure of this size. So we find that the accessory structure exceeding the 1,200 square feet does not conform with the character of the neighborhood. It would not enhance future development and could set a precedent for similar accessory structures of the requested size, 2,000 square feet. Staff would support a request equal to 1,500 square feet, the size of the largest existing residential accessory structure in the area. So staff recommended the denial of conditional use permit 13-54. Do you have any questions?
Does anybody have any questions for David? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, David, I have a question. So if the petitioner comes forward tonight and says, I'm willing to reduce that building size to 1,500 square foot, we're good with that, we can make a motion and move on it tonight?
That's what we talked about with the City of Sioux Falls staff.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is the petitioner here? Can you state your name and address, please?
Nathan Althoff, 47605 Sorrel Street, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 57104.
Do you have any comments or questions?
I'm happy with 1,500 square feet. I'd still like to get 2,000 just for additional space to keep my property out there tidy and keep everything underneath one roof. Just having kind of a vehicle collector, and I have a camper and just yard equipment and stuff like that would look better if it was underneath the roof and enclosed, both for security and for looks.
Any questions?
So Nate, you would be acceptable if we approve this for the 1,500 feet then?
Yes.
Any other questions for Nate?
Well, I guess it would be convenient if I could go up to a 34 by 46, which would be 1,564 square feet. If that's at all.
That'd be up to them.
Are these is this like a prefab where you get certain sizes?
Well, the buildings generally go in 2-foot increments and 34-foot width, because I'm originally asked for a 40 by 50. The 34 would still allow me to get one vehicle in this direction and then have another vehicle in this direction. Kind of. So it's just barely over the 1,500, but would be a more economical size and useful for me.
And that's 1,564 square feet, you said?
I believe so. Yeah, 1,564.
Okay.
Any other questions for Nate? Okay, thank you. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak to this? Please step forward. Can you give us your name and address, please?
Yes, Stephen Bechtel, 346 14 Slip Up Creek Road, basically adjoining the property within 500 feet. And I just have a point of clarification. I called down the planning office. They weren't really able to address the setbacks. In other words, which road, he's a corner lot, County 125 in Sorrel. They couldn't tell us. I talked to Josh and I talked to Scott. What road would be the setback requirement? What's the side yard? What's the back lot? Because the dimensions of Nate's property basically long way east and west. And I think he wants to put it east of his home. So would the road setback be off Sorrel? Is basically my question.
I was planning on being off the setback from Sorrel. Yeah.
So I think that's 30 feet off Sorrel?
Yep.
And then whatever requirement.
So it'd be 66 feet off of center, or 63 off the center.
Yeah, 33 and 30.
30, yeah. 30.
Okay.
Did you get your questions answered?
I did, if that's what you
Okay,
did. Thank you.
that's fine. All right, anybody else that wants to speak to this?
My name's John Gunn. I live at 25952 Jane Avenue, which is down on the cul-de-sac. On the driveway on this building, like it's facing Sorrel, that would take up, I don't know if he's going to have driveway all the way up to Sorrel, the width of the building. Plus he has a driveway for the home. Can he have two driveways? Or I'm worried about parking on that street all the way from one line to the other one.
David, do you know the answer to this?
Mapleton Township would have to approve it.
If he wants an additional road,
The approach,
Driveway.
the new approach.
Nate, can you step back up here for a minute, please? So were you looking to create a new approach off of Sorrel, or are you looking to use your existing drive?
There's an existing drive already there. So there's the driveway and then there's an approach on the upper part of the property.
So there are
adding that to
two.
it. The garage doors would be facing the west, so I wouldn't be doing a wide one. It'd just be a narrow entrance coming into the property. I wouldn't be adding anything to it. Would be the answer to the question. Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Does that answer your question,
Yes,
sir?
Yeah, that's all right there.
Okay.
Okay, is there anybody else that wants to speak to this? All right.
I have another question. So, this 1564, was 1,500 a somewhat arbitrary number, or is it a hard and fast? We can approve 1,564? Okay, good enough for government work, okay. Good enough. Okay.
Madam Chairman, I would move for approval of changing the 2,000 square foot to 1,564 square foot.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
I have a motion.
Anybody opposed?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the 1,564 recommendation for approval, 1,564.
Do I have a second? All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed? Item 3 carries on the city side. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Oh, that's for United Way. They do a fundraiser, clown races, to do a fundraiser, and
We know some of the people that are racing.
Yeah.
a couple of we had a couple guys, Dave did, and our one of our GIS guys also raced this year.
That explains it.
Yeah.
Going on
I thought
disability,
that staff could do something too, so.
Yeah, but it wasn't announced to the audience, so nobody knew. Even some of your own staff members didn't know. That was why it needed to be said out loud in the.
Thought we would read that with the regular.
But everybody had agendas where it wasn't. Nobody in the audience knew.
All right. Now we're going to have the regular meeting of the Minnehaha County Planning Commission. Any final action taken on conditional use permit request will take effect 5 working days following this meeting unless a written appeal of the Planning Commission's decision is filed in the planning office by Monday, September 30th at 5 p.m. In the event of an appeal, the decision will be